let's talk about an AI that can improve itself. This is an idea that just jumped right out of science fiction and into a very serious warning from a former OpenAI insider. Today, we are going to break down exactly what he saw inside those walls that has him and a lot of other people so concerned. Just let that sink in for a second. An AI that doesn't have to wait around for human programmers. It could spot its own flaws, fix its own bugs, and just keep getting better and better in this crazy exponential loop, while we're all still stuck improving things one step at a time. This single idea right here is the engine for everything else we're about to talk about. So yeah, this is the big question, isn't it? Is this some far-off problem for our grandkids to worry about, or is this happening on a timeline that should make all of us sit up and pay very, very close attention, starting right now? Well, let's find out. Okay, so the guy sounding this alarm is named Leopold Aschenbrenner. And what makes his warning so powerful is that he's not some outsider. He was a researcher at OpenAI. He was literally in the building, helping to create GPT-4. He saw the progress from the inside, and what he saw made him write this absolutely stunning report called Situational Awareness. And this is his timeline, and it is shockingly fast. He's projecting we could hit artificial general intelligence, that's an AI with the same kind of reasoning and learning skills as a human, by 2027. But here's the real kicker. It's what happens next. The jump from that human-level AGI to a superintelligence way, way beyond us, he doesn't think it'll take decades. He thinks it could take mere months. So how on earth is a jump like that even possible? Well, it all comes down to a process we've actually already seen happen in the real world. And it all started with a simple board game. The story of AlphaGo is just the perfect example of this. So first, it learned by studying the best human players. But the real breakthrough, that came when it started playing against itself, millions upon millions of times. It started making these moves that were so creative, so alien, that human experts thought they were just mistakes. Until, of course, those moves won the game. It became a genius by teaching itself. And yeah, that whole process has a name. It's called recursive self-improvement. And this is the engine of the intelligence explosion. An AI that's smart enough to do AI research will make itself smarter, which then lets it get even better at making itself smarter. You see? It's a feedback loop that could spiral out of our control faster than we can even imagine. All right, now take that idea of self-improvement, but instead of applying it to a board game, let's apply it to the entire field of AI research. And this is where the scale just becomes almost impossible to wrap your head around. So right now, we have a few hundred brilliant human researchers pushing AI forward. But, they work normal hours, they have to sleep, they operate at human speed. But once we get AGI, we can create millions of AI researchers. And they won't work 40-hour weeks. They will work 24/7. And Aschenbrenner figures they could operate at over 100 times human speed. To make this real, Aschenbrenner uses this great thought experiment. So there's this legendary researcher at OpenAI named Alec Rodford. Aschenbrenner asked his colleagues, what if you had 10 copies of Alec? And they said, well, progress would be 10 times faster. So he said, okay, what about 1 million copies of one of the best AI researchers on the planet? That's what we're talking about here. In this army of 1 million AI researchers, they have advantages we humans could never, ever match. We're talking perfect memory of every scientific paper ever written, no mistakes when they're writing millions of lines of code. You can copy them instantly. They all communicate perfectly and simultaneously. And, of course, there's that core engine. The smarter they get, the faster they improve. It is an exponential curve we just can't keep up. So, what does a world with superintelligence actually look like? Well, the implications go way beyond the tech labs. We're talking about changes to the fundamental structure of our economy and to global power itself. This chart here really puts the economic shift in perspective. I mean, for most of human history, growth was basically zero. The Industrial Revolution, which completely remade our world, kicked it up to just 2 or 3% a year. Aschenbrenner is predicting a superintelligence era could see growth rates of 30% or more. I mean, imagine economies doubling not every quarter century, but every single year. And the military advantage? It would be even more decisive. This isn't just about better drones or robot soldiers. The gap in capability would be so huge, it would be like a modern army with tanks and jets fighting a cavalry unit with horses and swords. It wouldn't be a fair fight. It would be a complete, categorical shift in power. And this right here is Aschenbrenner's stark conclusion. He's not being dramatic for effect. This is a cold, hard, strategic assessment. The power to hack any system, persuade any leader, and outcompete any nation, that could give a single actor a level of control we've never seen before.
Now, if this all just sounds like science fiction, think about this historical parallel. A few hundred Spanish conquistadors managed to conquer the entire Aztec Empire. Not because they were magical, but because they had a decisive technological and strategic edge. Well, superintelligence would represent a far, far greater advantage than that.
You know, the most dangerous part of this whole situation might not even be the technology itself. It might be our own inability to believe that it's actually happening. And this is a pattern we have seen before. Back in the 1930s, the idea of a nuclear chain reaction was dismissed as just too crazy. Even after fission was actually discovered in 1938, most of the top scientists downplayed the risk of a bomb. They just thought it was too extraordinary to be real. A working bomb was just 5 years away. We are in that moment right now. And Aschenbrenner is not alone here. Stuart Russell, the guy who literally wrote the textbook on AI, is sounding the alarm. John Talon, the co-founder of Skype, he calls the risk imminent. And inside the top AI labs themselves, this idea of a rapid intelligence explosion, it's seen as highly plausible. The experts, they can see it coming. So, here's the bottom line. The process has already started. A self-improving AI, scaling itself into an army of researchers, could trigger this intelligence explosion in years, not decades. The debate really isn't if it's possible anymore. It's about how fast it's going to get here. The warnings from inside the labs are crystal clear. It's time to start taking that question very, very seriously.